YouTube, and welcome to week 9 of the NFL season. I can't believe it's already halfway through the season. It's crazy, but here we are. Today I'm going to be doing a first look lineup where I go position by position and kind of just give my initial thoughts on the salaries of the players and who I think is going to be a good play this week. Again, things change throughout the week. Injury news, like last week I had Ridley in most of my lineups all week, then he gets ruled out. This probably explains why I just had a terrible Sunday for DFS. I was just making last minute adjustments. It was a bad Sunday. But as we get injury news throughout the week, things change, value opens up. But today I'm just going to go over position by position and kind of build a lineup. So starting off at the top, we have Josh Allen going against Jacksonville. He is priced at $8,200, but I mean, we just saw Geno Smith have an amazing game against Jacksonville. Like this could just be a complete this could be like a 40-0 type game. Diggs should eat. Josh Allen, just pretty much everyone on this Bills team should just have a day. This is definitely a week where he's a very safe cash game play, and he's a good tournament play as well. Kyler Murray going against San Francisco. I do have a bit of interest, but he messed up his ankle or something, so we need to wait on some news. I think that may limit his rushing upside a little bit, as he just may stay in the pocket more and not be as willing to run to risk re-injuring that ankle. But San Francisco, they are getting a bit healthier, but at 7,900, I still have some interest. Probably a better tournament play, just a little too risky in cash. Patrick Mahomes at 7,800. This is going to be a week where you'll probably never get to play Patrick Mahomes at lower ownership than this week. Like, the Chiefs have just started off really rusty. Everyone just recently saw this Monday night game against the Giants where they like barely won. I think he's going to go fairly low owned. I think people are going to want to pay for Josh Allen and Rodgers and Lamar and all the people around him, and I think he could go a bit overlooked this week, so I think I'm going to want to come overweight on him, especially in tournaments. Aaron Rodgers, I'll probably have some because I'm probably going to want to game stack this game. This is probably the shootout of the week. At Mahomes only being $300 more, I still think Mahomes is the better quarterback. I know he hasn't looked that good, but that's a small sample size. We've seen who Patrick Mahomes is, and if I can play this guy at low ownership, I'm going to have him in a ton of lineups. Lamar Jackson at 7,300. He's probably one of the better, so far, Josh Allen and Lamar are the two best cash game quarterbacks I've seen so far. Going against Minnesota, we saw Cooper Rush, beat this Vikings team. I forget the name of the player, but they just had another defensive injury. I think Lamar is just very, very safe cash game play. Let's see. Dak at 6,900. That's very good. Whenever I can get Dak at under 7,000, I know he's coming off this calf strain that he had, but I mean, I'm going to plug him into my lineup as of now, just because with that receiver core, and then he still adds a bit of mobility. That's just too good of a price to pass up. Let me make sure. Let me see if there's any other good plays down here. So Jalen Hurts at 6,700 is also a good cash game play. It's crazy. They had their best game of the year. They scored 40 points, and that was Hurts' worst fantasy performance. He scored 25 points pretty much every game, and then he has 11 that game because Jordan Howard vultures him for 5 touchdowns. So I think Hurts is a fine cash game play. He's so safe with the amount he rushes the ball. The Chargers are a bit more stingy of a pass defense, and we already know Hurts kind of struggles in the passing game as it is. So I'd avoid him in tournaments this week, but still a good cash game play. I like Tua going against Houston. That Houston defense is not good, and Tua, I still have faith in Tua, even though their record doesn't show much for it. Tua's still shown at least some glimmers of being able to be a starting quarterback. So I think they could get a win here against Houston. I like his pass catchers as well. R.I.P. Winston. Oh, that sucks. I'm a Saints fan, so that hurt me. So yeah, this week it seems like I like a bit more of the expensive quarterbacks for both cash games and tournaments. Usually I like a lot more of the cheaper ones, but I just can't really find any that I like this week besides Tua. So now going into the running back position, starting at the top, we have Alvin Kamara. With Winston being out, we're just not sure what Trevor Siemian, like who knows if Taysom Hill comes back. You know, he's still a great play as Alvin Kamara. They'll probably still lean on him a ton at 8,200 against the Falcons. He's a great play. But for cash games, when you want as safe plays as you can get, you know, McCaffrey at 8,000, he's supposed to return this week. We've seen McCaffrey priced at 10,000 before. So McCaffrey is probably just like at $200 cheaper than Kamara. If he comes back, it's probably a little bit safer of a play. Eckler going against Philly, I do like a lot. We know Philly likes to, they give it up to the middle short field and running backs. They actually are pretty good against the pass and limiting receivers. So I do like Eckler quite a bit this week. Dalvin Cook going against Baltimore. We rarely see Dalvin Cook under 8K, so that's a really good price tag on Dalvin. I'm just trying to compare the other prices to him to see who we can fit in the lineup. Aaron Jones against KC. I have some interest. Kansas City is more of a run funnel defense. Okay, Saquon at 6,800. Man, that's so tough to pass up. Usually when we get to the middle of the season, there's less and less value because Draftkings prices these players appropriately. So it's really hard to find like cheap running back and cheap receiver plays. Finding as much value as you possibly can with each play is so crucial at this point of the season. And with a player like Barkley, who is, especially with Sterling Shepard just went down, we saw Tony get banged up, who knows if Galladay's back, like they could just absolutely lean on Saquon. He could get so many touches this game. I'm going to plug Saquon into the lineup as of now. If McCaffrey's out, I think Hubbard's going to be, there's probably not going to be much value on this slate. So, he got 24 rushing attempts and he still gets 2+ targets, 3+ targets every game. So if McCaffrey's out, Hubbard's going to be definitely in my lineup, I think. If Saquon's out, I like Booker a little bit. We saw what he did against the Chiefs. He's getting 15+ rushing attempts. He's getting 4+ targets. That's a lot of volume at that price tag. Same with Darrel Williams at 5,700. I know Gore came in and looked pretty good, but Williams still had 13 rushing attempts and 6 targets. He's getting like 4 or 5 targets every game and getting still a lot of the goal line work. I do like Darrel Williams. Let's see if we can get any cheap running backs in here. We have to monitor James Robinson. He's day-to-day with his injury. If he's out, it's going to be really hard not to play Carlos Hyde. I know he's just Carlos Hyde's washed in my opinion, but at only 4,900, I think you almost have to play him because of just the value. I think I'm going to put Darrel Williams in here. I still think the Chiefs' offense is good no matter what we've seen. And when you can get the primary running back on one of the best offenses, I'm going to do it. Now going into the receiver position. Okay, so we have Devontae Adams at only 8,200 going against the Chiefs in what could be a very high-scoring game. Cooper Kupp's not on the slate. I don't have to pick Adams or Kupp right now. I'm just going to put Adams in the lineup. When you can get a guy with his target share, he's just one of the safest plays every single week. He should be off that COVID list. Obviously if he's not, don't play him. Tyreek Hill, good tournament play. Diggs, Diggs at 7,700. I think this could just be an absolute explosion game for him. I'll probably play Diggs more in tournaments than Adams, but it's just hard to play like Diggs over Adams, and I don't think you can fit Diggs and Adams in like a cash game lineup. Jamar Chase always in play. He's just a touchdown machine. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb is getting quite pricey at 7,200. You can't play him in cash games, I don't think. Thielen, Allen, DJ Moore at 6,400. There is nobody in his price range that gets the target share DJ Moore does. I know he hasn't really put a big game together recently, but he's getting pretty much an average of like 10 targets every single game. Keenan Allen is the only other player that probably comes close to more with like target share, because none of these other guys, even Hopkins, doesn't get the target share Moore does. Ridley's out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put DJ Moore in this lineup. Oh man, that's crazy. So then scrolling down, we see Amari Cooper at 5,700. CeeDee Lamb 7,200. Amari Cooper's 5,700. That is that's way too cheap for Amari Cooper, I think. With Dak coming back especially, that I feel like you almost have to play him in cash games. I don't see it. There's no way I'm playing any of these other guys around Cooper for that same price tag. So I think you gotta wait. I think you have to find a way to get Cooper into your lineup. Usually we try to we always try to pay down a defense in cash games. Tournaments play good D-line, O-line mismatches and things like that. But in cash games, you're just trying to pay down at defense and then fit in as many guys as you can above them. I mean, yeah, the Texans against Miami is fine. That's perfectly fine. Tight end, usually you want to pay down as well, although that's a really juicy price tag on Kelsey. I just think you won't be able to get up there in cash this week. Waller should be back from his small injury, and you probably will get Waller at super low ownership going against the Giants, so I will be playing some Waller in tournaments. Pitts going against the Saints. I thought Pitts was going to be I played so much Pitts when Ridley was ruled out. I thought this guy was going to get so many targets. It was just going to be so hard for him not to get there. And then what the Panthers did, because he was just the only dude there, is they just shut him down completely. And I think the Saints are going to do that as well. But at 5,900, that is a really good price tag. But I think the Saints are just going to sell out to stop Pitts pretty much. If Kittle returns this game at 5,200, I'm going to have probably a lot of Kittle. That's just so cheap for a player like him. Gesicki going against Houston. Houston is the worst team against the tight end position in the entire league. I'm going to like Gesicki this week. Gesicki pretty much just lines up as a wide receiver, kind of like Kyle Pitts. Dallas Goedert at 4,500. I love Goddard as a talent, and now with Ertz being gone, you see him get 5, then he went up to 7 targets this last week. He's gotten 70 yards in both his games. And one of the ways you attack the Chargers is through the tight end position. It's through, short passes, screens, and to the tight end position. So I like Goddard quite a bit this week. Tyler Conklin at 3K might be the guy for cash games. When you look at Tyler Conklin's targets, 7, 5, 3, 6, 8. He's getting a healthy amount of targets since Irv Smith went down. Dan Arnold was the cash game tight end this past week, and he got 10 targets. But Buffalo is extremely stingy against that position, and I'm not looking to play Arnold again this week. I think I'd rather just come down to Conklin, and what's that give you, 4,900? If James Robinson's out, then that's perfect. You just put Carlos Hyde in here, and that's the lineup. But we don't know if he's going to be out, so it's probably going to have to be a receiver. Not Russell Gage. I played him in cash games this last week, and he somehow did not see a single target. It blows my mind how that happened with Ridley being out. But I think Hunter Renfrow is probably the best for cash games. I don't really like him in tournaments because I don't think he has a ton of upside. But when you look at his just game log, it's 8. He's averaging almost 7 or 8 targets a game, and he gets 10 plus fantasy points every game. And at 4,800, that's just very consistent, and that's what you're looking for in cash games. As of now, without any injury news, it's just the value is not good this week. So I think that whatever last player you're fitting in is going to be kind of ugly for everybody, but I think Renfrow is about as safe as you can get. So this is my first look lineup here. We got Dak, Barkley, Darrell Williams, Devontae Adams, Moore, Cooper, Conklin, Renfrow, and Texans. I feel like that's a really safe good cash game lineup. This late in the season, injury news always seems to break later in the week. The trade deadline is today or tomorrow, and that could change things. But as a first look lineup, I think this is pretty solid. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment, and please subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the breakdown of the Thursday night football game between the Colts and the Jets. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.